Organizations often operate under a dangerous assumption that if a purchasing process is digitized, it is inherently fair and secure. The Competition Commission of India recently shattered this illusion, levying a massive 138 crore rupee penalty against HP India for orchestrating a bid rigging scheme. Corporate executives frequently trust e-procurement platforms to eliminate the human biases inherent in manual bidding. And while the HP case made headlines in the public sector, the exact same architectural vulnerabilities exist quietly inside private corporate procurement portals. These systems are designed to democratize purchasing and increase transparency, but in practice, they often wrap a highly manipulated ecosystem in a cloak of digital legitimacy. Moving a flawed procurement process to an online portal is not a control. It simply digitizes the fraud, making it invisible to the naked eye. At the core of this manipulation is the hub and spoke cartel. An original equipment manufacturer acts as the hub, colluding with a ring of authorized dealers. Instead of competing, they orchestrate a theater of competition. The first tactic in this operation is cover bidding, sometimes called complementary bidding. Dealers submit bids that are intentionally priced too high or designed with fatal technical flaws. This guarantees that a pre-selected vendor wins the contract without drawing attention to the lack of viable alternatives. Next comes price fixing. The OEM dictates a strict floor price to all of its participating partners. Because every dealer submits numbers based on that floor, the corporate buyer never discovers the true lower market rate of the goods. Finally, they use market allocation. Vendors explicitly agree to take turns winning tenders, carving up the corporate spoils based on regional geography or specific product lines. This theater easily bypasses standard compliance checks. But operating at this scale inevitably leaves behind a massive, mathematically detectable digital footprint. Traditional procurement audits fail to catch these schemes because they rely entirely on manual sampling and basic compliance checklists. Auditors run a standard three-way match, checking if a tender had 3 unique bidders, if the lowest bidder, L1, won, and if the purchase order matches the bid. A planned cartel passes this checklist with flying colors every time, masking the underlying manipulation. To detect modern collusion, organizations must shift their focus away from face value document verification and toward behavioral anomaly detection. This requires deploying computer-assisted audit techniques, commonly known as CAATs, to analyze the hidden data structures of the bidding process. By running these analytics across thousands of transactions, auditors can build real-time early warning systems, stopping collusion long before it escalates into a regulatory nightmare. Catching a digitized cartel means looking past the surface data on the invoice and interrogating the hidden metadata underneath. The first analytical test leverages IP and device fingerprinting. Colluding vendors often become lazy, drafting and uploading their supposedly competing bids from the exact same office location. An Agile analytics engine monitors the portal login process, extracting the IP addresses and device fingerprints of all bidders. The definitive red flag occurs when competing vendors, like Dealer A and Dealer B, upload their bids using the exact same device footprint. The second test is bid timing and velocity analysis. Cartels tightly coordinate submissions to monitor the portal, ensuring no outside competitor slips in a lower bid in the final hours before a tender closes. By analyzing the timestamps across thousands of tenders, auditors can pinpoint multiple competing bids consistently submitted within minutes or even seconds of each other. No matter how distinct the physical bidding documents appear, this spatial and temporal digital exhaust will always betray a coordinated strike. The third analytic test utilizes metadata and textual analytics to expose the mechanical creation of cover bids. Vendors generating complementary bids frequently use the exact same source files, changing nothing but the final price and the company logo on the title page. To catch this, the auditor extracts hidden document metadata, including the author and creation dates stamped permanently into submitted PDFs. In many cases, the metadata reveals that the underlying file author on competitor A's bid is actually the sales head of competitor B. As a secondary trap, auditors deploy fuzzy matching algorithms to scan the raw text of the technical submissions. These algorithms highlight the exact same unique spelling mistakes, unusual phrasing, or formatting anomalies across supposedly independent proposals. A cartel can easily forge a company letterhead, but they cannot forge the automated, invisible history stamped directly into the file's code. The fourth analytical test maps price dispersion and margin analytics. The objective here is to calculate the percentage difference between the L1, L2, and L3 bids over a multi-year period. This scatterplot represents natural competitive bidding margins, appearing chaotic and random. Real competition produces unpredictable spreads based on fluctuating supply chains. Human-engineered prices lack this natural statistical variance. In orchestrated schemes, the chaotic scatterplot sharply reorganizes into 3 perfectly parallel horizontal lines, showing exactly a 1.5% variance across dozens of tenders. The final test tracks bid rotation and market allocation, mapping win-loss ratios to see how cartel members ensure everyone gets a return on their collusion. Here, the analytical engine looks for a perfect rotational sequence, where vendors A, B, and C take predictable turns winning sequential tenders across specific regions or departments. Fraud inherently lacks statistical randomness. Mathematically perfect margins and predictable sequences indicate a pre-agreed formula, not a free market. The goal of these techniques is to pull organizations away from retrospective regulatory audits and move them toward proactive internal defense. Instead of running these 5 CAATs analytics as historical checks, organizations must deploy them as an embedded architectural layer. This filter operates in real time, directly inside the tender portal's backend, instantly flagging anomalies as they occur. By automating these analytics, the system freezes manipulated tenders before the L1 vendor is ever officially awarded the contract. A 138 Crore regulatory penalty is simply the cost of a failed internal control environment. If you want to build stronger controls and explore more insights on governance and internal audit excellence, make sure to subscribe. Forensic auditing unmasks the cartel by interrogating the digital exhaust left behind at every stage of the procurement cycle.